Students at Alki Middle School spread the word.
We have started to stand up for kids who are being bullied, and it's not that hard. You can do it too.
The message they're sharing with classmates. Also,
give back to the community where we all work and live in.
A local bank sets up shop at Houck Elementary. The life lessons students are learning 1 penny at a time. Plus, it's a perspective usually shared by students and teachers only. A peek inside the classroom as we go on a patron tour. It's a scene playing out in classrooms across the country. Kids being bullied simply for being different. Hello and welcome to In the Know. I'm Chad Young. To put an end to bullying at their school, Alki Middle School students put together a powerful assembly. Elena Buller shows us the impact it had.
They completely just pushed me.
In the halls, on the playground, even in the lunch line.
If you ask these students the words they hear, they will tell you. They're ready to tell you. They want to let you know that they hear this hate speech all the time.
Kids in Miss Harris's theater class decided it was time to take a stand after several kids across the country committed suicide because they were bullied.
What's your problem?
Why are you trying to get us in trouble?
You guys are the one who are lying.
I don't care, don't try and get us in trouble.
They put together a diversity assembly with the help of the language arts class. They wrote pointed poems, created artwork based on their experiences and feelings on bullying. They even wrote skits based on scenes they've actually watched play out in the halls of their own school.
I knew we took risks, but how can we change if we don't push a little bit?
The students used strong language with an even stronger message.
Before this, I used to, it was no big of a deal, I'll throw out a couple things like that, but now that I understand what the meaning of the words and stuff and how it affects people and the videos we watched in class that showed how it does, then now I'm like, that's really bad. I never should have done that. I'm really disappointed.
I hope people get, the courage to stand up to bullies throughout the school and throughout their whole life,
Those watching the assembly say it definitely had an impact.
It was definitely changing because you get to see to a bigger extent what bullying, how it really happens.
Yeah, it's definitely changed, like how I view other people.
Probably the biggest lesson these kids learned today was not to let fear be a factor when it comes to bullying. In fact, after watching today's assembly, many of them told me they feel more comfortable taking a stand and making it stop. For In the Know, I'm Elena Buller.
To the delight of students, Vancouver finally had its first snow day of the year in late February. School was canceled after a light blanket of snow covered the streets. 1 to 3 inches were reported in lower-lying parts of the city, with as much as 5 inches at higher elevations. Although the streets cleared off pretty early in the day, district administrators called off classes because of concerns that frigid temperatures would turn that melting snow into sheets of ice. If you're curious how that decision-making process works, we did a story on it back in December. It's posted on our YouTube page. Thanks to grants, donations, and a staff of volunteers, children in Vancouver are getting top-notch dental care for free. We caught up with the Free Clinic of Southwest Washington's dental van at Roosevelt Elementary. The van coordinates with the school district's Family Community Resource Centers, traveling from school to school. Volunteer dentists and hygienists clean children's teeth, look for cavities, and if need be, refer them to the Free Clinic to fix problems. April Hall is the coordinator for the Free Clinic dental van and says the demand for care is high.
The people that are needing it really do need the services and don't have any other access to care, and so it's great that we're there to provide that for them.
April has been the coordinator for about a year. She tells us that she's already seeing improvements in their patients. If you would like your child to get a free checkup, contact the Family Community Resource Center at your local school or the Free Clinic of Southwest Washington. It's been a long time since many of us were in a classroom, but Vancouver Public Schools is making it possible once again. For years, the district has offered patron tours and they're picking up steam. As Nick Vole discovered, you get to sit in on classroom lessons, learn more about new programs, and even ride the school bus.
I arrive at the Bates Center for a patron tour, along with parents, grandparents, and community members eager to get a look inside Vancouver Public Schools.
It's enjoyable, and I'm real pleased. I'm pleased to come on the tour.
I met Lavona Dawkin at our table. She's a retired teacher who's eager to get back in the classroom.
I love to go on the school tours and find out where my tax money is going and how well the children are doing.
Trudy Doyle, who doesn't have children in the district, is taking the tour for another reason.
I'm a member of the faith community in this area, and we're interested in how we can support the children in schools in our area.
Superintendent Steve Webb greets us as we sip our coffee and gives us some background information before we get going.
Now we're going to head on out to Sarah J. Anderson Elementary. I haven't ridden a school bus in a long time, so this should be fun.
A quick safety presentation from our driver, and we're northbound on I-5. Our destination, Sarah J. Anderson Elementary, is the biggest in the district with more than 700 children. We're greeted with a song sung in Spanish. Then we're off to the classroom where we see the school's dual language program in action.
Salta.
Dual language classrooms are 50-50, English and Spanish. Anderson has been doing this for several years, and seeing it in action leaves tour guests impressed.
I think it's great how they integrate both the dual language program and a traditional program.
Anderson recently graduated its first class of bilingual students onto the next level, which is also the next stop on our tour. Geyser's principal introduces himself as we arrive.
Nice to meet you. Morning.
Then we split up, some going to science classes, others to a video production class.
Yeah, come on in. That's it. I think we're ready. Okay.
You may recognize Chad Young as one of the hosts of In the Know, but on this day, he's hosting a group of curious onlookers in his classroom. Mr. Young lets his guests mingle with students as they work on projects, one of which is to interview the superintendent.
I am here with Dr. Webb, and he is the superintendent for
Vancouver Public Schools.
Then it's back on the bus one last time.
From Geyser Middle School, now back at the Bates Center, where we're going to have a Chinese lunch prepared by Vancouver Public Schools culinary students. It's the end of the tour, so we're going to leave you here. For In the Know, I'm Nick Bull.
The patron tours are offered several times a year, and they are free. If you want lunch, it's just $4. The next patron tour is scheduled for April 15th. For more information, head to our website or call 313-4720. That number is on your screen right now. A Hudson's Bay math teacher is recognized by the local Rotary Club for engaging his students in their lessons. Eric Saueracker uses real-life examples to make abstract concepts feel concrete for students. In one lesson, he uses exponential numbers to predict the growth of Vancouver's population. Although he's getting the attention, Mr. Saueracker says this is really about the team at Hudson's Bay.
You know, what makes teachers better is the teachers that are around them and the opportunities to talk with those teachers. If I was teaching in a vacuum, I'd be, maybe just lecturing out of a book or something like that. I don't know, it's hard to really realize where you can go unless you see other teachers who are doing it as well.
Mr. Saueracker believes that connecting formulas to real-life situations allows students to better hold on to difficult ideas. 4th and 5th graders at Harney Elementary compete for a blue ribbon at the annual science fair. We stopped by to see what kind of projects the students made. The first was a trebuchet, which is like a giant catapult.
Well, we were trying to see how far trebuchet would launch through rabbit houses in hopes of destroying it.
I pretty much got 2 jars, and I put water in it and a handful of sand, and I had one lid open and one closed, and I put it outside, and I was looking at which one the sand would go down faster.
Can an egg go through a glass bottle opening without breaking? So this is just mostly what it does. It sucks, it's like a vacuum, so it gets sucked down and pulled into the bottle.
My question was, which plant can grow the highest with fertilizer, radish or lettuce? And my hypothesis was I thought that my radish would go the highest.
We saw some other classic science projects like mold growing on bread and potato-powered batteries. Congratulations to all the winners at Harney. Over at Jason Lee Middle School, students get a different kind of science lesson as Mobile Science Lab rolls onto campus. Sponsored by Seattle Children's Hospital, the Science Adventure Lab is basically a tricked-out RV. The doctors and scientists on board travel all over Washington sharing research projects with students.
As you can see, the inside of the vehicle looks like a real research lab, and so for many students, this is the first time they've ever seen an environment like this, and their first exposure to authentic laboratory tools.
When we stopped by, students in Mrs. Womack's class were swabbing their cheeks for DNA.
We wanted all of our students to have the opportunity to find out where they can find their DNA inside their body.
The Science Adventure Lab has been up and running for about a year. This visit to Jason Lee was sponsored by the school's MESA program, which promotes science, math, and engineering education. Usually, most of us look forward to Friday because that means the weekend is right around the bend. But at Hauk Elementary, students look forward to Wednesday instead. Helen Raptis shows us why.
All right, thank you. Good job.
The bell hasn't rung yet at Hauk Elementary, but the lessons have already begun. Instead of math and reading, students are learning how to save.
They can deposit as little as a penny and they'll get a prize.
Hauk is the first school in Washington to take part in Umpqua Bank's Learn to Earn program. The bank gives its employees volunteer time every Wednesday to collect deposits from students. Stephanie Descupta started Bank Day at Hauk.
And it's just fun to see how excited they get, even with like the nickel and dime deposits that we get, trying to find out where it came from. And it's just fun. Oh, the Tooth Fairy gave this, I'm going to save it for my Nintendo DS or whatever the case may be. But they definitely know what's going on, and it makes them feel very important.
And for every deposit they make,
well, we get prizes, and I like getting prizes.
What did you pick?
A smiley face purse.
and while the students may not realize it, they're also getting something else.
Just because it's a lifelong goal that they learn early, they'll develop those habits over time, and as adults they'll be able to, as I'm sure you know, utilize that habit and be able to save for their future.
Wendy Dahlberg is trying to share that message with her daughter Marissa, who's a student at Hauk.
So it's really neat to be able to spend the extra time with her in the morning and you know, teach her like what I do, what's important about saving. And
Stephanie says these kinds of community partnerships are important to Umpqua Bank, and that's how she and her coworkers feel about Hauk.
Just because it's kind of close to our heart, it's in our neighborhood, and it's just an amazing school.
All right, thank you, Miss Natalie. Good job. I'll see you next time.
As part of the Learn to Earn program, the bank also does in-class presentations on how to manage money. Bank Day has been going strong at Hauk since February of 2010. Students at King Elementary pulled together to help animals. The student leadership there, with help from their counselor Matthew Fector, organized a pet supply drive for the Humane Society. After hearing a speech from Mr. Fector at a school assembly, students started donating. Overall, King donated 115 pounds of pet food and 54 pet supply items, ranging from collars and leashes to dog bones and pet blankets. Speaking of King Elementary, 2 kindergarten teachers have started a fun new tradition, College Friday. On the last day of every week, Sherry Perea and Jennifer Gay, along with other staff members, wear college t-shirts to school. They also talk to their kids about what it means to seek education after high school. Even though the kids might not fully grasp what it means to go to college, the teachers say it's all about planting a seed.
If I say, you know, what are you going to be when you grow up? And they all say, well, I'm going to go to college. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just what they, that's just in their mind. It's just on their mind all the time. And I know Melissa sings the fight song for the Cougars, so they know that. I haven't taught the duck song yet, but I'd like to.
Ms. Perea and Ms. Gay tell us the kids are really into it, and some of them have started wearing college t-shirts on Friday also. Well, that just about does it for us today. If you're watching us on Comcast, stay tuned after the show for more great programming from Vancouver Public Schools. Thanks for watching In the Know. I'm Chad Young.